Commander Olivia Martinez stood at the observation deck of Proxima Station, arms crossed as she watched alien ships arrive. After 15 years as Earth's main diplomat to the stars, she had become hard to impress. The massive Craxian warship entering the docking area glowed with purple energy fields. Its captain had spent the last dinner bragging about their quantum engines. Olivia had simply nodded and smiled through his speech. "Another technological marvel, Commander?" asked Alan Webb, her young assistant who still found everything about space exciting. "Just another ship, Ellen," she replied. "Fancy lights and strange metals don't make something special." Ellen looked confused. "But the Craxian vessel can jump across half the galaxy in seconds." Olivia shrugged. "So can 5 other species ships. The Voldorians have been doing it for 1,000 years." She turned away from the window and walked toward the meeting room. The station buzzed with activity as delegates from 30 different worlds prepared for the Galactic Assembly. Earth was the newest potential member, and Olivia felt the weight of representing humanity. Her communication device beeped. "Commander Martinez, the Zeltarian ambassador requests your presence," said the station's eye. "Tell him I'll be there in 10 minutes, she replied. The Zeltarian ambassador was waiting in a room filled with strange-smelling plants. His blue skin shimmered as he bowed slightly. "Commander, we are most pleased with Earth's application to join our assembly," he said. "However, some members have expressed concerns about your technological readiness." Olivia had heard this before. Earth was considered young and primitive by most galactic standards. Humans had only achieved faster-than-light travel 30 years ago, while some member species had been crossing stars for millennia. "Ambassador, we understand these concerns," she said calmly. "Earth is prepared to meet all requirements for membership." "Yes, but there is the matter of your flagship," the Zeltarian continued. "Tradition requires all new members to arrive at the final ceremony in their most advanced vessel. Some worry that Earth's ships might be inadequate for such an occasion." Olivia felt her jaw tighten, but kept her diplomatic smile. "Our ship will arrive on time for the ceremony, Ambassador. I believe it will be sufficient." Later, in her private quarters, Olivia sent an encrypted message to Earth. "Request U.S. frontier for final ceremony. Time to show what humans can really do." She looked out her window at the collection of alien vessels. The Voldorian ships shifted between 16 dimensions, barely visible to the human eye. The massive Taurian vessels contained entire ecosystems. The elegant Andorian cruisers were said to be grown rather than built. None of them had ever truly impressed her. They were just different approaches to the same problems of space travel. In 15 years, she had seen technology that could bend light, create artificial gravity, and generate shields that could withstand supernovas. Yet they all lacked something she couldn't quite name. Something human. Her device beeped with a response from Earth. "Frontier will arrive in 3 days. Captain Jack Foster sends his regards." Olivia smiled. The aliens had never seen a human ship like the Frontier. They thought they knew what Earth was capable of based on the diplomatic shuttles and cargo vessels they'd encountered. They had no idea what humans had been developing in secret. For the first time in years, Olivia felt excited. The Galactic Assembly was about to learn that humanity's approach to space travel was unlike anything they had seen before. The grand meeting hall of Proxima Station hummed with the voices of 37 different species. Olivia Martinez stood at the edge of the room, watching the alien delegates with practiced calm. Tomorrow was the final vote on Earth's membership in the Galactic Assembly, and tensions were running high. "The humans lack proper experience in space," announced Ambassador Krell of the Taurian Confederation. His large frame dominated the center of the room. "Their technology is basic. Their understanding of cosmic principles is limited. Why should they join our ranks so soon?" Several delegates nodded in agreement. Olivia had expected this resistance. Earth had achieved faster-than-light travel only 3 decades ago, while many of these species had been crossing the stars before humans invented the wheel. "Commander Martinez," called Ambassador Zix of the Andorian Alliance, "perhaps you would care to address these concerns." All eyes turned to Olivia. She stepped forward, her blue diplomatic uniform standing out among the colorful and sometimes bizarre clothing of the alien representatives. "Earth may be young in the stars," she began, "but humans have always been quick learners. What took other species centuries, we often master in decades. We don't claim to know everything, but we bring new perspectives and fresh ideas." The Zeltarian ambassador floated forward on his gravity disk. "Fresh ideas are well and good, Commander, but space is dangerous. The Assembly must be certain that Earth can protect itself and contribute to our collective security." Olivia smiled slightly. "I believe those concerns will be addressed when our ship arrives tomorrow." "Ah yes, your ship," said Krell with a dismissive wave of his forearms. "We've seen human vessels before. Functional but unremarkable. I doubt tomorrow will change any minds." Before Olivia could respond, her communication device beeped. She excused herself and stepped into a quiet corner of the hall. "Martin is here," she said. "Commander, this is Captain Foster. The Frontier has reached the outer marker of the Proxima system. We'll be at the station by 800 tomorrow, as planned." "Any problems with the journey, Jack?" "None at all. The new drive performed better than expected. We made the trip in half the projected time." Olivia felt a rush of pride. "Perfect. I'll see you tomorrow. And Jack, make an entrance, would you? These aliens need a little shaking up." "With pleasure, Commander." Foster out. When Olivia returned to the hall, she found Alan Webb waiting for her with a worried expression. "Commander, I've been listening to the delegates. Many are planning to vote against Earth's membership tomorrow. They think we're too primitive." Olivia placed a hand on his shoulder. "Don't worry, Alan. Things will look different after the Frontier arrives." "What's so special about this ship?" he asked. "You've never seemed impressed by any vessel I've seen, human or alien." "That's because I've been waiting for something like the Frontier all my life," she explained. "Most alien ships follow ancient design principles. They're powerful, but predictable. The Frontier represents something new." Later that night, Olivia stood alone on the observation deck. The stars shined brightly against the darkness of space. Somewhere out there, the U.S. Frontier was approaching, carrying with it Earth's hopes for joining the galactic community. She thought about the next day's ceremony. The aliens expected to see a simple human ship with basic technology. They had no idea what was coming. The Frontier wasn't just a ship. It was a statement about humanity's potential. For the first time in her 15 years as a diplomat, Olivia found herself feeling excited rather than simply dutiful. Tomorrow would change everything. Morning arrived on Proxima Station with a buzz of activity. The observation deck filled with alien delegates eager to witness the arrival of Earth's flagship. Some came out of curiosity, others to confirm their low expectations of human technology. Olivia Martinez arrived early, dressed in her formal diplomatic uniform. She found Alan already there, nervously checking his datapad. "The vote is scheduled for 2 hours after the ship's arrival," Alan told her. "From what I can gather, we're still facing significant opposition." Olivia nodded calmly. "Let's see how they feel after they've seen the Frontier." Ambassador Krell approached with his entourage of Taurian officials. "Commander Martinez, I hope your vessel arrives on time. The Assembly has a busy schedule today." "The Frontier will be here exactly when planned, Ambassador," Olivia replied. "I've studied your ship specifications," said a tall, thin alien that Olivia recognized as the Kronak's chief scientist. "Standard fusion drives, basic shield technology. Nothing particularly noteworthy." Olivia just smiled. Those specifications might be somewhat outdated. The observation deck offered a panoramic view of space around the station. Dozens of alien ships hung in the darkness, each representing a different civilization. The Zeltarian vessels glowed with soft blue light. The massive Taurian warships bristled with weapon ports. The elegant Andorian ships resembled sea creatures more than space vessels. "Incoming transmission from the Frontier," Alan whispered, handing Olivia a communication device. "Martinez here," she said. "Commander, this is Captain Foster. We're approaching the station now. Request permission to proceed with special entry protocol." "Permission granted, Captain. Show them what we can do." Murmurs spread across the observation deck as the station's sensors detected an approaching ship. The aliens checked their devices, looking confused. "That can't be right," said the Kronak scientist, tapping his scanner. "These energy readings don't match any known human technology." "Station sensors detect a ship approaching at high speed," announced the station's eye. "Unusual energy signature detected." Everyone moved closer to the windows. At first, there was nothing to see but empty space. Then, a small point of light appeared in the distance, growing rapidly. The U.S. frontier did not simply fly into view like a normal ship. Instead, space itself seemed to ripple and bend. A flash of blue-white light erupted, and suddenly the ship was there. As if it had always been there, the stars around it adjusting to its presence. Gasps and exclamations filled the observation deck. The frontier hung in space before them, unlike any human vessel the aliens had seen before. Its silver-white hull gleamed in the light of Proxima's star. The ship wasn't the largest in the assembled fleet, but something about its design drew the eye. "What manner of propulsion is that?" demanded the Kronak scientist, his voice higher than normal. "That's not standard human technology." "Actually, it is," Olivia replied calmly. "Just not technology we've shared before today." The frontier rotated slowly, giving everyone a clear view. Unlike the angular shapes of most space vessels, the human ship featured smooth curves that flowed like water. No visible engine ports could be seen, yet a subtle blue glow surrounded the ship like an aura. "Impossible," murmured Ambassador Krell. "Your species has not had enough time to develop such technology." Olivia turned to address the now silent crowd of aliens. "The frontier represents a new approach to space travel. What you just witnessed was our gravity manipulation system, or as the engineers call it, the Einstein drive." As the aliens stared in amazement at the human ship, Olivia felt a surge of satisfaction. For years, these species had treated humans as primitive newcomers to space. That perception was about to change forever. The frontier completed its approach to Proxima Station, moving with a grace that seemed impossible for a vessel of its size. Unlike other ships that used thrusters for docking maneuvers, the human vessel glided into position without visible propulsion, stopping precisely at the designated berth. "How are they controlling movement with such precision?" asked a Zeltarian engineer, their voice barely above a whisper. Olivia allowed herself a small smile. "Microgravitational fields. The ship can create and manipulate its own gravity envelope." The observation deck had become unusually quiet. Diplomats and scientists from across the galaxy stood transfixed, watching as the frontier extended a docking tube that seemed to flow rather than mechanically extend toward the station. "Commander Martinez," said the station's AI through the public address system, "Captain Foster requests your presence at Docking Bay 7 for the formal greeting ceremony." Olivia nodded to Alan. Time to welcome them aboard. As they walked through the station's corridors, aliens stopped to stare at them with new interest. Word of the frontier's unusual arrival had spread quickly. "They're looking at us differently," Alan noted quietly. "That's the point," Olivia replied. "First impressions matter in diplomacy." The docking bay was already crowded when they arrived. Ambassador Krell had positioned himself at the front, his large frame impossible to miss. The Zeltarian and Andorian representatives stood nearby, along with delegates from a dozen other worlds. The airlock door opened with a soft hiss. Captain Jack Foster stepped through first, his uniform crisp and his posture perfect. Behind him came 5 crew members, each representing different specialties on the ship. "Captain Foster," Olivia said formally, "on behalf of the Galactic Assembly, welcome to Proxima Station." Foster nodded. "Commander Martinez, on behalf of Earth and her colonies, we are honored to be here." Ambassador Krell stepped forward, towering over the humans. "Captain, your vessel's arrival was unexpected. Our records indicate that human technology has not yet mastered gravity manipulation. Foster smiled. Your records would be correct, Ambassador, as of 5 years ago. Things change quickly on Earth. Impossible, insisted the Kronak scientist who had pushed his way to the front. No species develops technologies that quickly. It took the Kronaks 3 centuries to perfect our quantum drives. Perhaps that's the difference between us, Foster replied calmly. Humans don't believe in waiting centuries for solutions. The captain turned to Olivia. Commander, with your permission, we've prepared a formal tour of the frontier for the assembly delegates. I believe seeing our ship might answer some questions, and likely raise many more. Olivia nodded. I think that would be appropriate, Captain. As Foster arranged the tour groups, Ambassador Zix of the Andorian Alliance approached Olivia. Commander Martinez, he said quietly, I must admit I'm perplexed. Your species has kept these advancements quite secret. Not secret, Ambassador, Olivia replied. Just private. Earth wanted to present itself properly when the time came. Zix's large eyes studied her face. I have lived for 300 years, Commander. I have seen many species rise and join the galactic community. But I have never seen one advance so rapidly. Humans are adaptable, Olivia said. It's our greatest strength, or perhaps your greatest danger, Zix responded. Such rapid technological growth without equivalent cultural maturity has destroyed other species. Before Olivia could respond, Captain Foster announced that the first tour group was ready to board the frontier. Ambassador Krell and the Kronak scientist pushed forward, clearly eager to see inside the mysterious human vessel. As the delegates filed toward the airlock, Olivia caught Foster's eye. He gave her a subtle nod that said everything was going according to plan. The frontier wasn't just a ship, it was Earth's statement to the galaxy that humans were not to be underestimated. And for the first time in her diplomatic career, Olivia felt genuinely proud of what she was about to show the galaxy. Captain Foster led the first group of alien delegates through the frontier's main airlock. Olivia walked beside him, watching the reactions of the visitors. Ambassador Krell had to duck his large frame through the entrance, his 4 eyes darting everywhere at once. Welcome aboard the U.S. frontier, Foster announced. This vessel represents humanity's latest achievements in space technology. The entry corridor opened into a spacious central hub that seemed impossibly large for the ship's external dimensions. This can't be right, said the Kronak scientist, consulting his scanner. The internal volume exceeds the external measurements by at least 30%. Foster nodded. You're observing our spatial compression technology. We've learned to fold space within the ship's hull, creating more room without increasing the physical size. Impossible, muttered a Zaltarian engineer. Such technology requires an understanding of dimensional physics beyond what your species could possibly have developed. Olivia exchanged a glance with Foster. These reactions were exactly what they had anticipated. The tour continued into what appeared to be a garden filled with plants from Earth and several alien worlds. Water flowed through small streams, and birds flew freely through the space. Our ecological balance system, Foster explained. The ship recycles everything. Nothing is wasted. These plants help clean our air and provide food, while creating a more comfortable living environment for the crew. Ambassador Zix reached out to touch a leaf, then pulled back. May I? Of course, Foster replied. Zix gently stroked the plant. This is not a reproduction. This is a living organism from my homeworld, one that is extremely difficult to cultivate off-planet. Our botanical team has had great success adapting alien species to grow in Earth conditions, Foster explained. We believe understanding other worlds begins with understanding their environments. The group moved on to the ship's medical bay, where Dr. Natalie Reed demonstrated equipment that seemed to fascinate the alien visitors. This device can repair cellular damage at the genetic level, she explained, showing them a sleek machine no larger than a briefcase. It's particularly useful for radiation exposure and certain diseases. Your medical technology is advanced, admitted a Taurian medical officer who had joined the tour. Our healing chambers require facilities 10 times this size. Olivia noticed the shift in the aliens' attitudes. The initial skepticism was giving way to curiosity, and in some cases, visible concern. The engine room, however, sparked the strongest reactions. Unlike the massive, noisy engine chambers of most alien vessels, the Frontier's power center was remarkably compact. At its heart floated a sphere of swirling blue energy contained within 3 rotating rings. "This is the core of our Einstein drive," Foster explained. "It manipulates gravity by creating controlled distortions in spacetime." The Kronax scientist moved as close as the safety field would allow. "The energy density must be enormous. How do you prevent collapse?" "The field is self-stabilizing," replied Chief Engineer Mayapatal. "The 3 rings create opposing forces that maintain perfect balance. This technology resembles theories proposed by the ancient Drell civilization," said Ambassador Krell, his tone suddenly serious. "Their entire species vanished after attempting to harness similar forces." Engineer Patel smiled. "We discovered similar issues in early tests. The difference is that we found a solution." As the tour continued to the bridge, Olivia overheard the aliens speaking among themselves. Their tone had changed completely from the morning's dismissive attitudes. "They've compressed centuries of development into decades," whispered Azaltarian to Ambassador Zix. "The assembly vote may need reconsideration," Zix replied quietly. Captain Foster showed them the bridge, a circular room where crew members worked at stations with holographic interfaces that responded to thought as well as touch. "This is where we guide the frontier through the stars," Foster said proudly. "From here, we can reach any point in explored space within days, not months or years." The implication was clear to everyone present. Human ships could now travel faster than any known vessel in the assembly fleet. After the tour ended, Captain Foster invited the delegates to a special demonstration in the ship's observation lounge. The room featured a transparent ceiling and walls, giving a clear view of space and Proxima Station nearby. "While seeing our technology is informative," Foster said, addressing the gathered aliens, "understanding what it can do may be more valuable." Olivia stood to the side, watching the delegates' reactions. She could see the Kronax scientist whispering urgently to his colleagues. Ambassador Krell remained silent, his 4 eyes narrowed in concentration. "Captain, permission to proceed with Demonstration Alpha," said First Officer Diane Rodriguez from a nearby console. "Permission granted," Foster replied. Rodriguez touched several controls on her panel. Through the transparent ceiling, the delegates watched as a small probe launched from the frontier. The spherical device moved a safe distance from the station before stopping. "This is a standard gravity probe," Foster explained. "What you're about to see is a practical application of our Einstein drive technology." The probe began to emit a soft blue glow, identical to the aura surrounding the frontier. Suddenly, the space around it seemed to bend slightly, causing stars in the background to shift position. "The probe is creating a controlled gravitational lens," Foster continued. "Watch what happens next." The distortion increased, and then, to the amazement of the delegates, the probe simply vanished. Gasps and exclamations filled the observation lounge. Several aliens began speaking in their native languages, their translation devices struggling to keep up with their excited tones. "Where did it go?" demanded the Kronax scientist. "Exactly where it was before," Foster answered with a smile. "It hasn't moved. Its phase shifted into a parallel dimensional plane." As if on cue, the probe reappeared exactly where it had been, the spatial distortion fading away. "This technology allows us to move not just through space, but partially outside it," Foster explained. "The frontier can travel between stars without encountering the normal limitations of physical space." Ambassador Zix stepped forward. "Captain, are you saying your ship can effectively become invisible and undetectable?" "That's one application, yes," Foster admitted, "though we prefer to think of it as an efficient travel method rather than a stealth technology." The implications weren't lost on anyone present. A fleet of ships with this capability would be virtually impossible to track or intercept. Commander Martinez, Ambassador Krell said suddenly, turning to Olivia. When Earth applied for membership in the Galactic Assembly, your representatives claimed your technology was still developing. This seems like deliberate deception. Olivia had anticipated this accusation. Not deception, Ambassador, prudence. Earth wanted to be certain our advances were stable before presenting them. Would you have shared half-finished technology with potential allies? Before Krell could respond, an alarm sounded. The station's AI spoke through the communication system. Alert to all vessels. Unidentified ships approaching Proxima Station at high velocity. Defensive protocols engaged. The observation lounge erupted in concerned voices. Foster moved quickly to a communication panel, while Rodriguez checked her data screen. 3 warships, unknown configuration. Rodriguez reported. They're not responding to identification requests. Space pirates, muttered Ambassador Zix. They've grown bold in this sector recently. Olivia watched as the alien delegates looked suddenly vulnerable. Their powerful ships were docked and powered down for the diplomatic gathering. Captain Foster turned to address the room. The frontier can be ready for defensive action in minutes. With your permission, ambassadors, we'll demonstrate another capability of our ship. Ambassador Krell hesitated only briefly before nodding. The safety of the assembly takes priority. Foster activated his communication device. All hands, battle stations, prepare for immediate deployment. Through the transparent walls, Olivia could see the 3 approaching ships, angular, predatory vessels designed for hit-and-run attacks. The pirates clearly hadn't expected to encounter an active defense. For the first time since arriving at Proxima Station, Olivia felt genuinely excited. The aliens were about to see what a human ship could really do when challenged. The observation lounge transformed into an impromptu command center as Captain Foster coordinated with his crew. The alien delegates watched with a mixture of concern and curiosity as the 3 pirate vessels approached Proxima Station. Shields at full power, reported Rodriguez. Weapons systems ready. Foster turned to the alien representatives. We need to return you to the station for safety. Commander Martinez will escort you. I wish to stay and observe, Ambassador Krell said firmly. Several other delegates nodded in agreement. Foster glanced at Olivia, who gave a subtle nod. This was an unexpected opportunity to demonstrate human capabilities in action. Very well, Foster replied. Please remain in this section for your safety. On the main view screen, the pirate ships moved into attack formation. Their designs were jagged and threatening, bristling with weapon ports. They were now close enough that everyone could see their scarred hulls and mismatched components, the signature of vessels cobbled together from stolen technology. They're charging weapons, Rodriguez announced. Foster's voice remained calm. Engage phase shift. Prepare for maneuver delta. The frontier's blue aura intensified. Through the transparent ceiling, the delegates watched as space itself seemed to bend around the ship. The station and stars outside began to distort slightly from their perspective. What's happening? Demanded the Kronex scientist. The spatial readings are impossible. Olivia smiled. We're partially shifting out of normal spacetime. The pirates won't be able to target us effectively. The first pirate ship fired, but its energy beams passed harmlessly through the space where the frontier appeared to be. The delegates gasped as they realized the human ship was somehow both there and not there simultaneously. Position us between the pirates and the station, Foster ordered. The frontier moved with impossible speed, appearing instantly between the attackers and Proxima Station. The pirates fired again, their weapons having no effect. Target their propulsion systems, Foster commanded. Minimum force necessary. The frontier fired 3 precise energy pulses that struck the pirate vessel's engines. The effect was immediate. The attacking ships lost power and began drifting helplessly. Station security can handle them now, Foster said, turning to the stunned delegates. The pirates are disabled, but their crews are unharmed. The entire confrontation had lasted less than 2 minutes. Ambassador Zix approached Olivia. "Commander Martinez, I believe I understand now why you were never impressed by our vessels. What your people have achieved," his voice trailed off, "is just the beginning." Olivia finished for him. "The frontier represents our first generation of this technology." The aliens exchanged glances. The implication was clear. Future human ships would be even more advanced. Later that day, the Galactic Assembly reconvened in the main hall of Proxima Station. The mood was drastically different from the previous session, where there had been skepticism about Earth's readiness. Now there was a new respect, and perhaps a hint of concern. Ambassador Krell stood to address the gathering. "In light of today's events, the Taurian Confederation withdraws its objections to Earth's membership. The humans have demonstrated technology and capabilities worthy of the Assembly." One by one, other representatives voiced their support. The vote was unanimous. Afterward, Olivia found Captain Foster on the observation deck, looking out at the frontier. "Mission accomplished, Captain," she said. "Earth is now officially part of the Galactic Assembly." Foster nodded. "They're already asking about technology sharing agreements." "Of course they are," Olivia replied with a smile. "But that's phase 2 of our plan." "Are you ready to go home, Commander?" Foster asked. "The frontier can have you back on Earth in 3 days instead of the usual 3 weeks." Olivia looked out at the assembled alien ships once more. For 15 years, she had traveled on their vessels, pretending to be impressed by technologies that felt cold and lifeless to her. Now, finally, humanity had created something that embodied what she had always been looking for: innovation driven not just by science, but by human creativity and spirit. "Yes," she said, "it's time to go home. But this time, I'll be traveling on a ship that actually impresses me." As they turned to leave, Olivia noticed the alien delegates watching them from across the deck, their expressions a mixture of respect and unease. Humanity had arrived on the galactic stage, and nothing would be the same again.